Hello, my name is Nicole with It's Crochet. And Farah. She might make an appearance here and there as well, but you never know. She's kind of a finicky frog, so okay, I'll be nice. It's been a bit since I've done a what's on the hooks kind of podcast, and so I thought I'd do a little bit of catch up. I think I'll probably do these once a month instead of once a week. We'll see how it goes. Let me know if you really enjoy the Whips episodes, and if so, I will try to do more of them, maybe twice a month, and we'll see how it goes. But first of all, what the heck am I wearing? This is my Frankenstein tee, and I call it my Frankenstein tee because it is a bit of a modified project. It started with a base of the Sweet Summer Tea by Farah. She's got it, yeah. And then I modified it because I used a different weight yarn and I added a collar to it. So it's a little bit Frankenstein, but I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite top to wear right now. So if you see it in a few extra videos, that's probably why. Because I love this thing and I love this yarn. This yarn is Rococo, which is a linen cotton viscose blend by Hobie, but I have since found the same yarn way less expensive from Ice Yarns. So if you're looking at the Rococo, go to Ice Yarns instead. So much cheaper. Okay. Yarn related news. From what I'm hearing on the interwebs, I think the Michaels clearance sale is going on right about now. So if you are close to a Michaels local store, go ahead and go check those out. I don't know that I'm going to get a chance to go anytime in the near future. But if I do, maybe I'll throw in some extra footage for you. Just to kind of see if Michaels is doing those clearance sales. I hear they're pretty good, so go check them out. Normally, I would jump here into my whips section, but first I'm going to give you my long list of fails. Because part of the reason that I honestly haven't done a whip video in a month and a half, almost 2 months now, is because I haven't accomplished much because I've accomplished a lot of failures, which is kind of sad to say. But let's go ahead and dive into some of these fails and we'll talk about what went wrong so that I can help figure out what to do different next time. Okay, first up is, sorry, this is going to click for a second. Okay. My Christmas motif top. If you remember, I've been working on this for a while. Originally, it was going to be a Christmas top, and then I worked on a different project for my Christmas top, so then I moved this to like a Valentine/anniversary top. And I got all of the squares done. Every single one of them is done. And I began doing the joins, and as I measured it, I realized it's going to be too tight. It's going to be too small. So while I hit gauge on this project, even with gauge, as I kind of worked through the squares, I think they got a little bit tighter. My gauge got smaller. One of those lessons is to actually measure the squares as I'm going to make sure that I'm continuing, because I picked this project up and put it down and picked it up and put it down and picked it up and put it down. So the number of times that I sort of worked on it is very feasible that my gauge from the time I started is not going to be the same as the gauge when I finish. Unfortunately, in this particular case, where this top should be a little bit on the bigger side, it is probably, if I go ahead and finish it, it's just going to be too snug. And for that reason, I'm not even going to finish it. I tried to consider doing like a crochet between and it just nothing was working out because of the way that these squares are. They're very lacy on the edges. Nothing was quite working for me on how to join them that maybe would give it a little bit of extra breathing room. If you have an idea on that with maybe a tutorial, like I looked up how to crochet between them, doing a crochet joint. And maybe it was just I was so burnt out on it at that point in time. I'm like, I'm so done with this. So that certainly could be. But I am marking this as a fail for now. I'm not going to, obviously, there's no point in frogging granny squares because you really can't reuse this yarn. I may end up using these squares for sleeves for a crochet jacket. I think that would actually work out really well to do them as sleeves. I think that would look nice. And so that might work out so that I'm not totally wasting all of the yarn. But at the end of the day, if that doesn't work, I'm okay with it. It's just part of the process, right? It's just part of that learning process. Oy. So that is my first official fail. Grab a drink of your coffee or tea or water or whatever it is. I recently started taking creatine because I'm getting at that age where I'm not making my own creatine. So I got to get it somehow else. Now for my second fail, this project, I don't know if you remember this. I'm afraid to hold this up. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. Yeah. So what happened here? This did not look like this when I finished it. This project, this is the Arrowhead tee. It was a Hobie pattern, I think by Farah. She's got it. And I worked on this over 2 seasons, like fall of 2024 and fall of 2025. And I kept, it was so painful. I finally finished it. I finally got it to the point where I was like, oh yeah, I can actually probably wear that a few times. I think I can make that work. Like, I like it enough that I'm probably going to wear it a little bit. And then I washed it, totally fine. And I put it in on the rack in my dryer to air dry some of the moisture out of it. But I made the mistake, and I feel very embarrassed admitting this. I left the dryer balls in the dryer. So even though this was on the rack and wasn't spinning, the balls were in the dryer. And the balls hit this and got it tangled a little bit on one of the rack legs. And so as it kept spinning, it stretched. I'm not that big, and it's not, which is so sad. I mean, the yarn feels so soft now compared to what it was when I worked with it. This is, Stroll, I think. Knit Pick Stroll. And I totally would have worn this more times, but this is bad. And it's not even worth frogging because I did the color changes on my own. So these are all short strips of yarn that are not going to be worth it to me to frog and redo. So this is just going to have to, I hate just throwing it away, but it's not even worth sending to Goodwill. I don't know. If you have ideas on what I can do with this, let me know, because right now, the only thing I can think of is to either save it for really bad posterity's sake or toss it. But I'm so sad because I worked so hard on this top. Hoi. Okay, so note to self on that one. Don't leave the dryer balls in the dryer when you have something on the rack. Dummy. Thank you. She confirmed it. Okay. Not my last fail. Okay, so I picked up this denim jacket and I was really excited to do sleeves for this. So cute. This was $20 and I picked it up on Facebook Marketplace. Actually, somebody pointed it out to me and said, "Oh, you've totally got to get that one." And then I had this brilliant idea. I have this yarn from Knit Picks called Salvage, and it is a recycled cotton. So they took all kinds of cotton garments and recycled them. And I had it in red, white, and blue. So it was going to totally match with this. And I was going to do a stripe, a red and white, red, white, red, white. And then at the cuff, I was going to do blue with star motif grannies. So around the cuff. And I thought the idea was perfect for this, right? So kind of mimicking the American flag. And I finished the sleeves. I wasn't real thrilled with them. I mean, they look too kitschy. It's just too, I don't know, like Wonder Woman, Superman costumey. And but that's not the only problem. If that was the only problem, I might have been able to work with that. I also realized once I got finished with them that there was... how on earth did I make this mistake? I have no idea. I have done so many of these jackets by now. This is like a beginner mistake. The sleeves are not wide enough. There's no way that these would attach to that opening. I don't know how I made that mistake because I am usually, I think what it was is I knew that I had a certain amount of yarn and I didn't want to buy more of the yarn for it. And so I was trying to be a little bit conservative and it went way too far into the conservative range. So there again, there is not a darn thing I can do about that without frogging this entire thing and redoing it. But that's not the only problem. Okay, so now I have two problems. One, I don't really like the pattern. It just looks weird. Two, it's too small. So that's like a deal breaker right there. And three, when I washed this to block it, it bled really, really bad. So I don't know if the camera's really picking up the bleeding on that. It bled into the white. Now, unfortunately, the camera is not really picking that up. There you can see in the blue a little bit, you can see some of that bleeding. But clearly this yarn bleeds into white. So as nice as this yarn might be, it's not soft. It's not like it's more of a rustic, toothy kind of feel. And I liked it for the purpose of this jacket. But it's certainly not a yarn that you want to use with combinations because it is definitely going to bleed. There's some of the really good red bleeding. Can you see that there? Maybe not. Anyway, 3 strikes and you're out. And again, because of the bleeding, I'm not sure that this is worth frogging these to try and reuse this yarn for anything because it's just... Yeah. I guess I could turn these into like washcloths, maybe, or something. Or, I mean, because it's bled, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I could turn it into a pillow. I know what I could turn it into. Oh, yes. I have been wanting to make, yes. I have been wanting to make a Kindle book stand. Have you seen these? And the base of them is really just a tube. And then you sew like the top one direction and the bottom, after you stuff it, you sew a different direction. And then you kind of like do something so that I can totally, these are done. I have a project for being able to reuse these. So there we go. Okay. Because that, I don't care if it's bled. It doesn't matter. It's just a functional thing. So we're good on that. Okay. One more fail. I know, this is what I'm telling you. I'm like, it has been, January was a month of fails, and I'm okay with that for the most part. I mean, certainly I would have liked to have accomplished a lot more, but I did have some accomplishments on YouTube, so I'll talk about that later. My last fail. I saw this brand new pattern just released on Ravelry called the Sway Top, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was perfect for my shape, something that was very unique, and I thought, oh, that would be a brilliant use for this. Ooh, don't pull that out. This yarn that I got from Ice Yarns, review coming out soon. Not an Ice Yarns haul, not a review of this yarn. And this yarn is kind of a unique yarn in that it's thick and thin in spots, and it has kind of some shiny spots to it. So it was going to require a really unique pattern. And I thought, oh, that's a perfect pattern. But it was it called for a fingering weight yarn, and this is listed as a DK weight yarn. It's supposed to be pretty flowy, but I managed to get gauge. So I was thinking, well, if I got gauge, it should be fine, right? And I started working on it, and I got this far on it. It's a top-down raglan style. I got this far on it. I'm actually really liking how this yarn is working up. It looks really kind of fun and you know, festive. But because this is a cotton blend, even though I got gauge, I feel like this is not going to have enough flow. It took me this long to kind of figure that out. I think sizing-wise it would come out. I just think it's going to be too thick and heavy for the purpose of that particular pattern. So I spent several hours getting that far and then realizing this fabric is coming out too heavy. Now, the good news is I can frog this and use it. Oh, the other thing is I'm not sure, like, I thought I did the calculations right and would have enough yarn for it, but after re-looking at it, I don't think I would have enough yarn for it. So that's another kind of misstep on that. But I can frog this and reuse the yarn, absolutely no problem. Okay. Whew. Those are the fails. Can you feel my pain? I want to know about your fails. Tell me what projects you've failed on recently and what lessons you've learned and what you're going to do about it going forward. And with that, we're going to move on to whips, which means the only whip that I have ongoing that I didn't stop and start and finished from last time we did this is my blanket. And I actually did make some progress. So I've got these squares going, and I probably made about, I don't know, maybe 17-ish more of these squares. So I think I probably have about 50 squares to go, which sounds like a lot. And then I have to sew them all together. And fortunately, I don't mind sewing, and I'm trying to remember to weave in the ends as I go because I really don't want to be stuck weaving the ends in at the end. That's like an exercise in agitation. So I just don't want to do that. So I do have that still ongoing. All right, finished objects. I did finish 2 things last month. The first one, if you've been watching the channel, you've probably seen me wearing this. This is the Gigi Newsboy hat. And this used a scrap yarn. It's in my Ravelry page, so if you're interested in the pattern, if you're interested in the project, you want all of the details, go check out my Ravelry page. It's all there. In fact, I'll probably be doing that from now on rather than kind of linking everything in the description below. Go visit my Ravelry page and find it all there, because that's a lot easier for me to manage. Anyway, my mother-in-law made that one for me before I learned to crochet, and I love that hat. But I wanted one in a different color, and I wanted a sort of a scrap buster of yarn that wasn't going to be enough to do anything else with. So this is really cute. I love it when I put it. I got my hair in a ponytail. It won't look right. No, it looks much better when I got my hair down. I'm still working on the brim and what I can do to kind of make the brim a little bit better. It's not bad, but it curls up a little bit at the edges. Not too bad. Anyway, so that is the Gigi Newsboy hat, and yeah, all the information is in the Ravelry, including what yarn I used, which I believe is a discontinued yarn. But there's plenty of those projects in there so you can get some other inspiration for other yarns. And then I have another finished object that I am so stinking excited about. I can't post it on my social medias yet because the gal that this is for follows me on Instagram, but she doesn't watch the videos, to my knowledge. Anyway, if she does, oh well, hey, Taylor, turn this off right now, skip ahead. This is a gift for my stepniece. She's having a baby, and so I decided that as a baby gift, I was going to do one of my upcycled denim jackets, and here it is. Oh my gosh, tell me this is not the cutest freaking thing you have ever seen. Is that not adorable? I cannot wait for her to see this. Now, I did get the jacket from Goodwill. It's a 12-month, so by the time she's wearing it, she'll be sitting up, and it wouldn't be too much of an issue, with laying down. And this yarn, again, it's a discontinued. I have no idea the name of the yarn. None whatsoever. It's some that extra that I had in my scrap that I'm like, oh, that will be perfect. Nice and soft, has some nice, really pretty kind of color changes in there. And that pattern is so stinking adorable. This came out so good. I am so excited for it. I'm so excited. Her baby shower is February 21st. So that's when she gets to open it, and I get to see what she thinks of it. Ah, it's so cute. Oh, I love it. I love it. Ah! Okay. All right. So that is the finished objects. Just 2. That's it. It's okay. It's all right. Even though it's been a month and a half since I've done one of these, I only have 2 finished objects because I have so many that I came so close to finishing and I couldn't quite get to the finish line. So frustrating. All right, so let's move on to things that I started over the last month and a half. The first one is one of my upcycled t-shirts. And if you've seen these, I wear one on the videos every now and again. basically the idea, the concept with these is that I don't like shirts that come way up on my neck when I wear them. So I came up with the idea of cutting down the neckline and the sleeve to add a little bit of a, what's that called? Like an epaulette, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it's a strip that goes in here so that when that comes in, it brings the neckline down a little bit. And I'm still experimenting with this process. I've made 2, almost 3, now almost 4. And I was working on a different sort of, the first ones that I did, I attached the yarn and then I was working in long rows from, the neck down to the sleeve and back and going this way. And I switched it on this one and I was going across this way. And I made this using a Darn Good yarn, recycled sari yarn. And here's one of the strips that I made. And so what I do is I make the strip and then I attach it, and I'm not loving the way that this one came out. It's just a little bit too clunky, but it is what it is. It's a learning process until I get this perfected. But there's the strip. So you can see I don't like the way that it's kind of attached on there. It just feels a little bit clunky. And to be honest, I was a little bit sloppy when I cut the shirt. I should have not cut it when I did, but I kind of just was like, I just need to get this done. And so I didn't take enough care in cutting the shirt and hemming it the way I should have. So when it comes to attaching this, it kind of came out a little clunky. It's not terrible. I think it'll still be wearable, but it's definitely not like showstopper. So by the time I get done, and that's why I haven't finished the other side, is because I'm like, I don't know how it's going to turn out. Maybe maybe it's not going to be great. I think the colorway that I picked actually matches this shirt really nicely. Just a shirt that I picked up at a thrift store. And so one that I like the saying because I travel a lot. I like the song from John Denver, so that's all good. If it worked out, great. If not, it was just a cheap thrift store shirt, so no big deal. So I'm kind of hesitant to finish it because I'm like, I'm not sure that it's going to be one that I would care to wear. But I'm going to finish it anyway because it's part of that learning process. I need to really keep doing that in order to perfect that process enough to where I can do it on a regular basis. And once I get there, maybe I'll do a tutorial for you. Okay, so there's that. Then I also started the perfect t-shirt pattern, which is again in my Ravelry. And I had this yarn that I've been wanting to use. This is the Friends Cotton Silk Print by Hobie, which the print version is now discontinued. And here again, just like the Rococo with this, I have found the cotton silk is available from Ice Yarns. The exact same yarn is available from Ice Yarns at significantly cheaper. So this yarn is so nice to work with. It is a cotton, 77% cotton, 23% silk blend, and it feels so, so nice. So I love me just a basic t-shirt, right? Just something that I can throw on. It's not dressy. It's very casual, but I don't have to worry about wearing something underneath it. That's kind of the kicker for me, is I want to have shirts that I don't need to wear a layer underneath because I live in a warm freaking climate. So this is a raglan style shirt, similar to the suede top that I was talking about earlier, but with a little bit different. And it uses the linen, I think it's the linen or moss stitch. And again, I'm loving the way that this is coming out. I love the print pattern of this yarn. It's so fun. It just gives it a little bit of fun kind of shake up so it's not just a solid color. So far, I have no problems with this. The only reason this is on hold right now is because I decided that it wasn't exciting enough to wear for my anniversary party. So I wanted to start something else that was going to be anniversary party worthy. And that's where that sway top was. I was hoping that that was going to come in. Again, that didn't work out. So this is still on the hooks, work in progress, and it is going to take priority once the project that I am working on right now gets finished. So this, I decided again, I'm going to stick with this yarn, the pretty purples. This yarn is, it's so pretty, and I really wanted to make something that I could wear for my anniversary party, which is fairly casual, but because I'm like one half of the guest of honor, I wanted something that also was a little bit more fun and festive. And I just wasn't finding the right pattern, and I have been, like, my favorite top to wear that is combination a little nicer than a t-shirt, but just slightly a step up. And I love this top. This is such a comfortable top. I love the tie at the bottom because it cinches in, so I don't feel like with my larger breasts, I don't feel like I'm wearing a tent. It gives a little bit of waist shaping with that. And the pocket's nice. I don't know if I'll add the pocket, but I love the kind of cuffed sleeves. And, everything about this is just, I love it. So I wanted to duplicate it. And now I am on a mission to design my own pattern from scratch with this yarn that I've never used before. What the heck am I thinking? We'll see. So this is definitely a little bit holier than I would like it to be. I'm using a half double crochet on a 5mm hook, but I'm doing that specifically because I want to use this yarn, and yet I want it to be lighter weight. So I may end up having to wear a top underneath this. And this might not be the final, like, if I can make this work with this one, I will probably try this out with another yarn and see how it goes. Maybe this yarn or maybe a bamboo. Actually, I think a bamboo would look really good with this. And I love the drape of the bamboo for this purpose. So that's my other current chain on new project that has a hard deadline of February 26th. I want this to be done by February 26th. Now, when this is going out, I have even less time to get this finished because I'm recording this a little bit in advance of when it's going to go out. So, yeah, I got to get this done. So those are my new chain-ons. New acquisitions. I do have 2 new things that I have picked up besides yarn, since we last talked. The first one that I picked up, because I do so many of these denim jackets, and I'm getting into designing the sleeves and not just kind of creating regular, granny squares and that kind of thing. I wanted a stitch dictionary, and I have a couple digital versions, but there is definitely something that is beneficial about having a physical copy when it comes to stitch dictionaries. So I picked this up, and this thing is chunky. It is a fabulous resource. So I'm just going to show you this one page. You can see it has the graphs on this side. Well, sometimes they're below. It has the step-by-steps. In the beginning, it has lots of basic tutorial information. And then each section is kind of Like you've got your basic stitch sections, then you've got your granny square sections, and then you have your edgings and trimmings sections. So there are 500 different crochet stitch patterns in this book, and I love it. I am using, ow, I just dropped it on my leg. I am using this quite a bit, and yes, highly recommend this. I will put an Amazon link down below. Just know that it doesn't cost you anything extra if you use my Amazon link, but I might get a couple of pennies. Just a couple pennies, that's all. But anyway, would not tell you that you should go buy this if I didn't think it was fabulous, but if you are the kind of person that designs your own stitch patterns or wants to design things and not just follow a given pattern, then I highly recommend this book. Not for everybody, because there's a lot of people that will never not follow a pattern. My mother-in-law is one of them. She's just like, give me a pattern. I'm just going to follow the pattern. Me, I want to do my own thing. I want to kind of go off the cuff. I want to like experiment. So I need something that's going to help me with that. And that's a great tool for that. The other thing was my birthday gift from my mother-in-law. And I don't know if you've seen, but I talked about my go bag, my crochet go bag in the past was a garden bag that I picked up from the Dollar Tree for $5. I know I still can't get past the whole idea that it's Dollar Tree and things started at $1.25 and that was $5. It's not the Dollar Tree anymore. Anyway, I digress. So I was using this bag and she decided that a good birthday gift would be an actual crochet bag. And I had actually been looking at these, but I'm like, I mean, my garden bag works. Why do I really need to spend money on a new one? So this was the perfect birthday gift for me. And I will link to this because I happen to know she got it on Amazon. This is the bag. Purple is definitely my color, so that was spot on. I think my husband helped her pick it out. She showed him a couple of different options, and he said definitely go with the backpack version and the purple one. So this is a backpack, which I freaking love backpacks. And it has a pocket back here that is perfect for my tablet. It wouldn't fit a full-size computer or a laptop, but, you know, a large tablet fits just fine. It's got my water bottle pocket in there. Over here, it has holes so that if you're doing different color work, you can pull that through. I don't use those holes, but I know if that's something that appeals to you, it is awesome for that. This side pocket, you could put hooks in there, but I just put my headlamp in there, so it's always there when I need it. It has a front pocket, and I actually kind of did splurge and went and bought just the cheapy knockoff Soft Touch. They're not too bad. From my initial kind of testing, they're fairly comparable to the more expensive ones. Jury's still out on that, but at least I have a go set, because part of the reason that she bought this for me was because I would show up and I would not have the crochet hook that I needed. Now, really, all I needed to do was go out and buy a set that I just kept in that bag, but I never got around to doing that. And so she's like, well, now you have space to put them all. I'm like, well, I'm not going to put the ones that I keep at home because I need to grab them too often. And I would rather generally keep the right crochet hook with the right project. Anyway, too many variables to talk about there. So this worked out. You know, I've got room for my stitch markers, and, you know, I use a little microfiber cloth, and my you gotta have nail clippers when you're on the go. Trust me. My measuring tape. I usually have a little stitch marker kit in here, and my scissors, of course. All the things that I need. Now, on the inside, and I don't have the insert in here right now, there's a huge opening. And you can see the Velcro. Maybe you can't. There are Velcro sides to this. There you can see them a little bit. So that you can put separators. If you're using like large skeins and doing color work, you can put your large skeins in there and separate them out. And this just happens to work perfectly with these bags. Again, I've shown these a few times. I'll link to the Amazon link where you can get these. And I can stack 3 of these in here quite nicely so that I have a few different projects that I can work on when I go to my knitting time. There is also, where is it? Where is it? It's missing. I don't know where it went. Anyway, there is a cute little round bag that also comes with it, and you can hook that on or take it off depending on what your needs are, and it just clips on there. So it's a little extra pocket that is removable. I took this on the plane with me when I went to North Carolina. It's got a nice little handle. So this was my on the plane bag and my purse, kind of everything, and it worked perfectly for that. I had no problems getting this through TSA, even with the hooks inside, not an issue whatsoever. Even with the scissors, no problems. So that was a domestic flight. I don't know how it would work on international flights. You'd probably have some more issues, but I do have a video on traveling with your crochet, so you can watch that too. I'll link it below. So those were the new items that I brought in that weren't yarny. And some behind the scenes news. I have officially hit 1,000 subscribers. I am so stinking excited. Like, I was like, click, 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 click. If you're not familiar, on YouTube, you finally get to officially monetize your videos when you hit 1,000 subscribers. Now, what does that mean? It means I earn probably about $20 a month to put out 8 videos a month. So it's still pennies. It's still not a lot, but it's something. It is the start of something. And I have worked almost 2 years to get there. So that is not that I say I've worked 2 years to get there. That's not necessarily true, because my goal was never specifically to be monetized. It was to be able to share the message and to do something that added to my creativity that I enjoyed. And as long as I enjoy it, I will continue to do it. If it ever becomes work or a job, I probably will not continue to do it, because I don't want my hobby to turn into something that I resent because I have to do it. If it's not enjoyable, it's not going to happen. So if I never got to that $1,000 mark, but I still continue to enjoy making the videos, then goal accomplished. That's what I wanted to do. But I did hit it, and I'm pretty darn excited about that. And again, it's not a lot, but it's something, and it says that my message is getting out there and resonating with more people. So for all of you, thank you so, so much. I do so much appreciate it. And I have added, and this is totally optional, no obligation whatsoever, but I've added a feature where you can buy me a coffee. This is a service that's kind of like giving you a tip. You can do a one-time coffee, or I'm calling it a skein, buy me a skein, or you can do a membership. And there are certain benefits with the membership, like I'm giving out, downloadables and things like that that might be a little bit handy. You get advanced notice on the videos. There's a little bit more community there. Again, no requirement whatsoever. It's just, if you feel so moved to do so, I would greatly appreciate it. And it helps to pay a couple bills, buy a couple of skeins here and there, so I can do more skein reviews and yarn reviews for you. Yeah. So that's the exciting news in the No It's Crochet world. And what's on deck? Okay, so I want to finish that crochet top. I have figured out that if I work for 2 to 3 hours a day, I should get that done in time. That's a little bit optimistic for me. There are days where I work 3 to 4 hours, and then I'll go 2 or 3 days where I'm not working. And I've got some decurvain synoviitis. So I have to really be careful that I don't push myself too hard and crochet too many hours all at once. And I'm probably going to do a video on some exercises for this. So let me know in the comments below if you're interested in it. This is not carpal tunnel. It's different. And it's not tinnitus. It's a different sort of thing. I'll describe it a little bit if I do a video on it, but certainly go check it out with your doctor if you're having wrist pain. I am not by all means, I don't play one on TV. I am not certified, so don't call me the expert. Do your own due diligence and research. I'm just a resource to provide some information for where to go look. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know and I'll do a video on that as well. Then I want to finish that upcycle t-shirt just to be able to check that off the box and say I'm done and make some progress on my blanket because I'm bound and determined to get that thing done this before summer. Even though I won't be able to use it during the summer, I want to have it done before summer. That's the goal. We'll see if that happens. By the end of the year at the latest. That goalpost just kind of keeps moving. It's okay. Anyway, thank you so much. If you are still around, I appreciate you so much. You are awesome. I love you, love you, love you. Share with me in the comments what you're working on right now and answer all of those questions that I asked throughout the thing. And yeah, let's just have a conversation. Farrah, frog us out of here. See you next week. Ribbit.